Good morning, Bobcats. So yesterday, Jimmy Fargo and his father arrived in Maine, and Peter was hoping that the Tubmans would not return from Bar Harbor, but they did, and it actually ended up working out to be okay. So this next chapter, chapter 11, called the ISAF Club, we're going to do it in two parts. So we'll do the first half today and finish it out tomorrow. Fudge was counting his Cheerios when Jimmy and I came down to breakfast the next day. As soon as we sat down, Sheila waltzed in, wearing her fuzzy pink robe and her bunny slippers, as usual. Jimmy took one look and doubled over. Sheila poured herself a glass of juice, then made herself comfortable at the table between Buzzy Sr. and Fudge. "Good morning, sweetheart," Buzzy Sr. said, kissing her cheek. "Good morning, honey," Fudge said, kissing her other cheek. "What is this? Camp Kissy Face?" Jimmy asked. "You wish," Sheila said. "Oh, yeah, I really wish," Jimmy said. "Sheila's my babysitter," Fudge told Jimmy, "but maybe she's going to be my wife, too." "Wife?" Jimmy said to Sheila. "Maybe," Sheila said. "Nothing's definite yet." "It all depends on Mitzi," Fudge said. "Mitzi?" Jimmy asked. "She's my friend. She has monster spray. She's trying to get some for me. Then I won't have to get married." Jimmy gave me a look and then sliced a banana into his cornflakes. "Buzzy Sr. and Grandma are best friends," Fudge continued, "but they don't sleep in the same room." "Why don't you save the morning report till after breakfast?" I said. "I can't." He nibbled on his Cheerios, eating one little circle at a time. "I might forget." "Pass the milk, please," Jimmy said. Grandma passed it to him, and Jimmy poured some over his cereal. "Jake will roll over if you give her cheddar cheese," Fudge said, still going strong. "But if you give Tootsie cheese, she spits it out." "Okay," I said. "That's it. Jimmy doesn't want to hear any more. Jimmy wants to have his breakfast in peace." "Wait!" Fudge shouted. "I'm not finished." "Oh, yes, you are," I told him. But did he listen? Does he ever listen? "Libby works at Ickles Ice Cream Parlor," he blabbed. "She puts extra sprinkles on my cone, and—" he stretched out the word, making sure he had everyone's attention. "Pete got dizzy from Izzy at the library." That did it. I reached across the table and grabbed him by his sweatshirt. "One more word and I'm going to let you have it." "Okay." He went back to counting his Cheerios. "What was that about Peter getting dizzy?" Sheila asked. "That was a joke," I told her. "He felt like he was floating," Fudge said. I shoved back my chair and raced around the table, ready to destroy him. "Grandma!" Fudge cried. "Help!" Grandma shouted, "Enough!" "Ee!" Tootsie shrieked. "Ee! Ee! Ee!" This time, Grandma stood up and banged a wooden spoon against a pot. We all quieted down and ate our breakfasts. Not that I was hungry anymore. When we finished, we helped Grandma clean up. Then Sheila danced across the living room in her bunny slippers singing, "He got dizzy from Izzy at the library." Mr. Fargo, who'd been sleeping on the couch, suddenly sat up. He looked confused. "Where am I?" he asked. "You're in Maine, Dad," Jimmy told him. "Remember? You're sleeping on the sofa in Hatcher's living room." "You mean the Tubmans' living room," Sheila said as she danced out the door onto the porch. Jimmy followed her, and I followed Jimmy. No way was I going to leave the two of them alone. It was a warm, sunny morning for a change. Everything smelled fresh and clean from last night's rain. Too bad Sheila had to spoil it with her musical act. She danced from one end of the porch to the other, singing, "Dizzy from Izzy, la-di-da, maybe it's love, la-di-da." "It has nothing to do with love," I told Jimmy. "Fudge made the whole thing up." "Dizzy?" Sheila said. "Floating? Sounds like love to me." "Yeah, Peter," Jimmy said. "Sounds like love to me, too." "I've seen Izzy," Sheila told Jimmy. "She's got curly hair and a fat behind." "It's not fat," I shouted. "If it's not fat, how come it wiggles when she walks?" Sheila asked, parading across the porch. She tried to imitate Isabel, but wound up waddling like a duck instead. "So when do I get to meet this Izzy?" Jimmy asked. "I have an idea," Sheila said. "We can ride our bikes to the library this morning." "I thought you have a job," I said. "I thought you have to babysit Fudge." "Haven't you heard?" Sheila asked. "Fudge is invited to Mitzi's. All I have to do is walk him over and I'm free." "I hope my mother's not paying you for that." "Business between your mother and me is private," Sheila said. Then Jimmy said, "I didn't bring a bike." "No problem," Sheila told him. "We have extras in the garage." Jimmy's here to visit me, I told Sheila, and I'll decide what we're going to do. I went back inside, slamming the door as I did. First, he tells me he can't stand Sheila. Next thing you know, it's like they're best friends. Who needs this? I went up to my room, kicked yesterday's clothes out of the way, and sat on the edge of my bed. In a minute, Jimmy joined me. He sat on the edge of his bed. Sorry, he said. I don't know what got into me. There's plenty of reasons for feeling dizzy besides love. I didn't say anything. You're not mad, are you? Jimmy asked. Why should I be mad? Then you don't mind if we ride into town. Why would I mind? I was just trying to help you out since I know you can't stand being around the Cootie Queen. Yeah, but I feel kind of sorry for her since her friend got chickenpox and all. She told you about Mouse? Yeah, and I know how disappointed you'd be if I'd come down with the chickenpox. You had them in second grade. I know, but just suppose